Wow. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Hat Chat podcast. I hope you have as much energy as that fingal.
Oh, loads of
fucking buckets of it. I'm stuffing it in things so hard that noise gates are stopping me.
Good God.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Oh, incredible.
Anyway, we're Hat Films. If you didn't notice by the name Hat Chat, that's why we went with that name.
Yeah.
It's because our name is Hat Films.
We're assuming you've just clicked on this one
for the first time.
153.
Welcome to 100. New viewer. This is specifically for you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
New viewer.
Thanks for clicking, and we hope that you enjoy conversation of other people, not necessarily with an aim or theme.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe you saw a weird title and thought, fuck, I'll listen to that.
Yeah.
And now you're stuck with us.
Yeah. So stay here, stay on the line. Right, come on, now we need to entertain. Go.
Who did the thing? Joshua Morley Smith.
Joshua Morley Smith. That's not interesting, though, but it is interesting. Thank you, Joshua Morley Smith.
Yeah.
But like for new viewer.
This feels so...
I went to the hygienist today.
Oh,
okay. Go on, talk us.
I hadn't been to the hygienist for 2.5 years, and when I got in there, the dentist said, "Oh my God, cancel my afternoon." And then they proceeded to get a metal tool case out, you know, like one of those ones.
Fold it.
And then they got the old tools out, the ones with wooden handles, because they're like, for this kind of work, for this kind of age,
I need to go analog.
There's chiseling, ancient Egyptian chiseling tools.
Yeah. They went in my teeth like marble. And at the end of it...
Sweating buckets.
Yeah.
Puts down the welding mask.
And they managed to
get my chisels. I'm going to need chisels for this shit.
No, the 8.5 inch. It's all an Imperial. It's all old, obviously. But no, they managed to make my front left tooth look like the Adonis statue, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
I was going to say it looked carved into that today, but I didn't want to assume.
Is that like you can't really go back from that,
You can't, no. It is a destructive medium.
It's an enamel-destroying method. Yeah.
And then
normally they're quite against, but when it comes to
an 8-inch chisel as well, to get that detail is insane.
They don't use the full 8-inch blade, obviously, but like he said he needed that, or she needed the heft.
You missed your lips. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have to wear one of those weird guards that like opened your mouth?
Yeah. And then they took hot solder, and then covered my lips in that to form a metallic shield.
That sounds gross.
And then they attached 2 electrodes, one to each corner of my mouth, and ran a current through the lot of it. Yeah.
So recede your lips instantly.
Yeah, it recedes the lips, but it also helps to sort of it plates the teeth through hydrolysis. No, what was it called? Hydrolysis is the...
Oh God!
The method of
we're getting
plating.
Science now.
What's the method of removing metal
short-term
from
memory loss? So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Electrolysis.
The
method
I thought you said
plating something through setting a certain charge,
current,
right? Yeah. So they did that to my teeth, and now if you're only listening to this podcast, you can't fully experience my grill. I also watched a video this morning about...
What kind of video?
It was The Rock being interviewed by Joe Rogan. So here's a little bit of a meta.
Doing what?
A little bit of a meta here. Talking about a podcast within a podcast.
No way.
Yeah, I just saw a clip.
Not a good one either.
No.
Not like this one.
Not like this one. But Joe Rogan was talking to The Rock, but The Rock was basically just saying for 2 hours, whilst Joe Rogan talked about all of his friends, specifically Elon Musk. It seems like it's turned into a bit of a circle jerk of...
a bit.
It must vary from episode to episode.
It does vary.
Some of those episodes are like 4 hours long. It's like...
It's frustrating because...
Does he pay like Elon Musk to sit there? Would he even offer him money?
I don't know.
What do you pay a billionaire? To go on your podcast.
You offer them,
or do you say, here's 100 million free easy listeners who just don't give a fuck about what you're saying, but will follow you.
It's a platform.
Elon Musk is a guy that wants to be heard, right?
Yeah, he wants a platform. Yeah, that's why he bought Twitter.
I guess they literally
bought.
They do plug. I listened to the one with
Michael
and Philippou and the other guy who made Talk to Me.
Right.
That was quite a good podcast. I mean, they were quite funny.
Well, that's it.
Australian guys.
Come on.
I did have a point.
Yeah.
And now I've lost it.
Right.
But I'm just saying that they weren't talking about like crazy politics stuff or like conspiracy stuff or like far right wing stuff. So I'm wondering,
where do you get your red pills?
Where do you find them? Do you get them off the street as well? Because I find them like sometimes they fall down the drain, and you have to like awkwardly be that guy who picks up a drain,
takes the drain
just because you need to get down.
Sorry, I just know how these systems work. I understand it.
I've gone for the passive experience where I wake up and I've already been pilled.
Oh, you get pre-pilled.
I'm pre-pilled.
You're listening to red pill stuff.
I don't like having the choice, so I like to just be pre-pilled and not have a choice. So
okay,
wow.
Well,
anyway, nighttime pilling or early morning pilling.
Maybe.
Do you have like a pill person?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen their face.
You always wake up red pilled. How do you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been told, and I believe what I've been told.
Say something misogynistic as you wake up. Maybe just start
I'm going to vote for Farage.
Suddenly have strong feelings.
Suddenly have strong feelings
about which toilet's which.
And start, belittling
Trump did nothing
minorities.
wrong.
Trump did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
He did loads of things wrong. Surely.
I think I might be QAnon, guys.
I feel like I couldn't tie his shoelaces right.
Quanond. I find shoelaces difficult.
Oh, right.
That's why I only wear Velcro shoes. If you guys don't notice, I only wear Velcros.
He doesn't know how to tie.
I can't read an analog clock and I can't tie my laces. I was raised by wolves.
Where did that lead from?
Didn't you learn to read the clock late?
Yeah, I mean, we say this a lot recently. It is quite funny.
The face of a clock, which
I couldn't read a face of an analog clock until secondary school.
And so what was the struggle? As in, what was
Just, it didn't make sense to me. Like, a digital clock, right?
Yeah.
It's 0920, right? It's
written out
9:20, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the 24-hour clock's a slightly more complicated principle, but it's like the 16th hour of the day. If you do that, after 12, if you bear that in mind, you've got 4 more hours, that's 4 o'clock, right? No problem. Then you show me an analog clock, and there's 2 different length arms, and there's only 12 numbers. And I'm just like, how the hell does this work?
Who chose 12?
Well, that's actually more complicated.
The Romans,
question.
right?
Well, answer it then. Who chose 12?
Well,
why didn't we just say 10?
Well, that's the thing.
Why didn't we go metric?
I think the Mayans
have
did
100
things in base 20 or something ridiculous.
Let's go to 100, and then when you hit 100, it goes back to 0. Bam.
You've discovered the interesting world of different forms of math and base numbers and things like that. Read about it. I don't know, but I'm shit at this kind of thing, so don't ask me.
It's probably more.
Trott thinks it's the Romans, but I think that's I don't know. A long
egregious generalization.
We could make our own time zone. We could make our own time.
Where did the 12-hour clock?
And did we all agree on the time
from
at the same time, or do we have to persuade someone to get rid of their time?
Mesopotamia and Egypt.
Egypt
is where the 12-hour came from. The sundial.
Yeah. Egypt were fucking badass, weren't they?
And the Romans also did use that, obviously, from the Egyptians.
Well, they'd be pretty mad not to.
Yeah.
Just read you different.
The Egyptian civilization lasted for a very long time, I've heard.
Right.
Longer than all of humanity existing, according to creationists.
So could it go down to one person to have chosen an hour? To be an hour at that length?
It's like time, so they segmented a sundial.
I know they had a sundial
12.
thing, right? But who made the sundial? Do you know
aliens that gave that knowledge to the Egyptians. We all know this, Ross.
So it was aliens.
Basic.
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad someone's speaking the truth on this podcast about the aliens.
Do you know why?
Aliens aren't real.
Because there's actually 12 planets revolving around our sun.
That's why
each hour is named after a planet.
Yeah.
Of our solar system.
Do you know each day of the week is actually named after a god?
Yeah, Monday after Monimus Deus.
Yeah. Tuesday,
Tues.
Yeah.
Tues.
Can you guess any?
Carl Tues, I think.
Yeah, no. But yeah, every day is named after a god from older
pagan
pantheons. Yeah, kind of a pseudo kind of mix between paganism and so. For example, I think Thursday is named after Thor. Because Thor sort of popped up in a few different pantheons in the area. Yeah. But yeah, each one is named after a god.
A bit narcissistic, really, isn't it?
Well, they didn't name them.
Who named them? People who worshipping those gods.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think maybe they evolved out of cultural appreciation for them, perhaps. But you're right. It's all very interesting. Unfortunately, I can't give you any answers or anything.
No,
I can give you.
None of us know anything really about
which gods made it, because I assume there's more than 7.
There's got to be more.
It's the most culturally relevant gods. They're the original influencers. The gods.
The OGs.
That's it. Yeah.
Human beings made their own influences for a while.
People are taking selfies today and they're like, oh, that's narcissistic. Well, I have Monday then.
Yeah.
I'll take Monday.
I name Monday. Yeah. It's like, you're a fucking prick, aren't you?
Yeah.
You took Monday. Well, I'll take Tuesday then. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Sunday.
Yeah. It's probably is that actually about the sun though?
No,
or is that not?
No, it's still a god, I think, as well.
Else?
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
those guys are pretty crazy. Those Romans.
It was the Romans.
David Mitchell's book's really good. I haven't retained very much of it, but he talks about this, the kings and queens one,
chapters?
Unruly.
Quotes and chapters.
No, because I'm not one of those people that goes through their books with a highlighter.
Ooh. Do many?
Oh,
well, they just go through their own
people that read books to seem smart Love that shit.
Well, surely it's more of a case of them doing research for something. Would you just literally take a highlighter to your book that you're reading?
Some people learn skills at uni like that, and then they take them on into their own personal lives for
but at uni,
the future.
I mean, this probably explains a lot, but I would highlight like just an entire paragraph without realizing that, I should probably just highlight just a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, it was one of the things where I was just like, well, this will be important, probably. I'll just read the whole fucking thing again at some point.
Yeah.
And then probably not actually read it again at some point.
Same thing. Really. Same approach. But yeah.
Fuck. I mean, I'm relieved I don't have to do that now.
Yeah, me too. That's how I felt after academics. I was just like, God, I'm relieved I don't have to do this anymore.
I don't want a pencil case anymore.
Yeah.
I know. I like the pencil case.
I like having one.
I like drawing on it.
I don't like using it.
Just distract me from actually learning. It's bad.
Do you know what I hate about pencil cases?
Go on. What is it? Go on. Fucking tell them.
Man.
Tell them what you think about pencil cases.
What type of pencil case?
Yeah.
Any pencil case will have this debilitating feature.
What if it was like a circle on the shape like a Pepsi?
Doesn't matter. You're going to have this problem, this one specific problem. All pencil case owners will hate this one thing.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to clickbait and hype up.
All pencil case owners. There
won't be a pencil case based title. There just can't be.
Just tell us.
Now, before I get into it, let me tell you my entire backstory before I get to the crux of this argument.
Yeah.
Pencil cases with pencil sharpening bits in the corners, in the bottoms, in the sides, and you never fully get them all out because sometimes you don't have a bin near you, so you pencil sharpen into your pencil case, and boom, you got pencil sharpenings for life.
Yeah.
You don't like that.
Me off.
They make me itch. They used to make the corners of my fingers itch. The pencil case shavings. I think I might have been slightly allergic to.
I think you're allergic to wood.
But so I had a gull pencil case.
What are you sharpening that has ink in it?
Well, like pencils. No, coloured pencils. Coloured pencils have ink in them.
All right.
Anyway, skipping quickly past that.
What do you mean? Did you say coloured pencils have ink in them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
to make the pencil lead that colour. How else do you do that?
Yeah, it's dust past this one.
So I had a gull pencil case. Remember those were a bit like they were made out of wetsuit material?
I think I had one. Yeah,
I had one for like one day. They had like the wetsuit zip and everything. Really quite an effective pencil case. You know, you could stuff a lot of stuff in there, zip it up, squeeze it all down. It was decent. But the second day I had it, my friend thought it'd be really funny to just slash it with a scalpel, you know, in graphics, for the entire.
It was satisfying because of the wetsuit material.
The wetsuit material is really fun to cut.
You could just slice it.
Yep. So slashed it all the way along the bottom underneath the zip. So from like day 2, it was an unsealable pencil case that I had to kind of like wrap around itself to keep sealed. And I put up with that for like 2.5 years before getting out of the pencil case. The things I put up with as a child.
It was because you're not buying that shit yourself. You're not going out to. Are you? Did you?
Well, I could have done.
You could have done.
Like,
it was more of a case of like,
you didn't want to spend your pocket money.
Exactly. I didn't want to spend my pocket money on a pencil case.
Well, yeah, of course.
I wanted to spend it on something useful like a frappuccino.
You had a real budget going on.
Frappuccino at
useful
school.
like a frappuccino.
You were having fraps.
Well, like 15, yeah. When you're age 15, you're buying like stupid frivolous stuff.
I think I hated coffees a long time.
It's an example, but like, you know, other consumable bollocks.
What did you actually
it wasn't exactly what I maybe like Kit Kat Chunky Duo and like a can of Coke. I don't know, like
the vendor dinner.
Yeah,
the classic vendor dinner.
Atomic balls.
Yeah.
Finally, some truth.
Some treats. Not another
Fruit
pencil
winder.
case.
Of course.
Fruit winder.
No, I didn't like fruit winders. They were shit.
Yeah, but did you ever do the whole, I'm going to eat the whole roll plus paper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus paper.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
You put the paper as well.
What are the stupid things you do at school?
Attempt to rebind that pencil case back together by using a Bunsen burner to melt it.
Oh,
to create
for
like
fuck's
a melt
sake.
stitch.
Jesus Christ.
Do they melt like that?
No, it doesn't create a weld. It just recedes.
I reckon if you put a whole stick of hot glue gun glue in between and then melted that
But you
down.
got to do that without your textiles teacher, your graphics teacher catching you.
Doing it in secret.
Yeah, I suppose so.
What's the matter, glue bitch? You're not paying for this, Mr. Short.
I would cover my entire pencil case in Tipp-Ex, and whenever you finish like doing all the you'd fill out with shit. You've done a load of shit
Would
with
you do
it.
your nails with it?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Nice little. Oh,
this is like literally
just
anything to not have to pay attention in maths or whatever. You're like, oh fuck, I'll just.
So the worst kind of Tipp-Ex was the one
strips,
with the strip nib thing.
Yeah,
they always used to peel up.
They just look shit as well.
It was just tape. Yeah, it was just
like
and when you actually do the thing, it's Tipp-Ex in general looks shit on any document.
It does.
Like,
it doesn't really work.
And obviously, if anything, it's probably not even used now. Everything's printed out, right?
Yeah. Also,
people don't know what pens are, right?
What are pens?
Exactly.
Quick mention.
I've forgotten what a pen is.
Exactly.
Quick mention to the double-ended pens that had an eraser on one end and a pen on the other. But you'd often soak the page in the eraser fluid, so then when you went go to write on it again, it would all bleed and look shit anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was that weird like
the ink eraser
smell like
as well.
Dog dick.
The ink eraser.
Yeah.
The blue,
like the white
blue end
nib.
where it is.
Yeah.
White
It would
nib.
never really get rid of fucking anything.
It was great for erasing cartridge pen ink, but then it wasn't
Were
really
you a fountain pen user? I did.
They made me, which did not help.
They made you?
Yeah, they made us use
gun to
fountain
head.
pens. They were like, you're going to use fountain pens in the future.
Has to be a Parker, bitch.
Get a Parker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shit Parker.
I had to use a fountain pen, and do you remember those little cartridges you used to get in your pencil cases?
Yeah.
And they used to explode.
I love them,
and
though.
leak in your.
Oh,
yeah.
All over
Sometimes you would just like
case.
pop the little ball at the top.
I fucking love those balls, though.
So good.
And square.
I used to collect those little balls.
So good. Ink cartridges and ink pens in general are fucking cool, but they are not usable by a child. Least of all a child who's as bad at writing as I am. Like, I literally have dyspraxia, so like I ended up using a laptop. That was great because it means I could write about 3 times as much in the same time.
You were at school using a fucking laptop.
I got given a laptop by the
writing with our
state.
hands. That's fucked up.
I got given one by the
My
state.
God.
I was walking around, cashed my taxes in, got a laptop, didn't I?
You needed assistance.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Whereas we were scratching out like paper with a fountain pen. The flow rate was awful.
Although I was like, some days you'd be like, well, I'm actually going to try and write this well with this fountain pen, and then other days then it looks just shit because I'm can't be fucked.
Sometimes the flow rate's great.
Christ,
sometimes
anything but paying attention.
And also being a lefty with a fountain pen.
Yeah.
Smudge the whole thing in blue. And then you got blue all up here.
Well, that's your fault for being born wrong.
But do you ever do that thing where you with the elastic bands where you would then just roll up like this really tight bit of paper, so it's like card, and then ping it at someone?
Try and blind
someone. Almost blinded someone in my class doing that.
Yeah.
Quite the weapon.
So it wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't take part in that often.
If
once you start it,
get your belt sander going.
You're going to receive some hits.
It's an arms race.
Yeah.
I think it would be quite interesting to get all the different current generations that are alive reminiscing about secondary school and how different it all is.
Yeah.
Like a boomer. What's above a boomer? A world warer?
Are you allowed? World war. Well, are you allowed phones in school? You're probably not, aren't you? Are you? They're probably quite strict.
I think it's probably impossible to.
But I imagine.
Oh yeah, you definitely get phones
because we didn't have fucking phones.
No.
We didn't have phones.
The silent generation.
Not just fucking phones.
Yeah, the silent gen, boomer, and then you'd have
silent gen.
Millennial. Yeah, silent generation
gen.
was above boomer.
Silent.
Silence World War One apparently. Why were they silent? Because they
No
can't
one
hear us
fucking
over
spoke
all these
about it.
property gains.
Silent. Is that really? I've never heard of them. Silent Gen. Okay.
Gen X. So we've got Gen X, boomer, millennial, Gen Z, and then
There's got to be something else. What's past Gen Z? Because Z feels final.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Then there's older Zoomers, and then younger
next?
Zoomers, and the younger Zoomers hate millennials, but the older Zoomers get on board with the millennials because they know they're struggling like we are.
But the Zoomers are at war with the silent generation, who have been silently pulling the strings from behind
all along.
all along.
Yeah.
And it's their allegiance
His
with Gen
granddad
X.
paid £500 for a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah. So the
fuckers.
silent generation are
Those
allying with
fucking
Gen
pricks.
X to hopefully overthrow the Zoomers and the millennials, because currently they have the power triumvirate.
Fuck.
But it's through the development of psychic powers developed in early World War One by the silent generation.
Yeah.
That they've
That's why they're
subtly
silent, because they're always
influenced.
telepathically communicating.
That's the thing. They're the silent
Fucking
majority
hell.
that's making everyone a racist.
Oh.
Do you ever get sick of that? Hearing politicians go like, "I think the silent majority is just like," it's like, stop making people up to justify your point. You know, like these fucking like fascist types.
They've
that
all
currently
learned that saying anything.
you can say anything. Yeah. So you're advocating for a sort of violent resistance.
Yeah. I think I am. Let's
Anyway.
get violent.
But yeah, I think that would be interesting to get. Like, what is the current state of being a secondary schooler like?
Vapes, baby.
I don't think it's just vapes.
Elf bar.
We have touched on these subjects before, or kind of theories or ideas, but
I want it
like
from,
obviously
like, a
when you
point
consider
of
that we
view.
didn't have any fucking, we had what, Bebo and MySpace to the
Yeah, but these
tail
don't
end.
happen
The
in
tail
school.
end of school. Yeah, it was.
I want to hear
it was
about
still
school antics.
Yeah, but that is part of school life, isn't
antics.
it? You mean like
Who's doing boobless? No one.
on the
calculators?
No one, right?
I reckon that's still a thing.
I think maybe.
I think that's been phased
I
out.
think boobless is still a thing. We don't have a young enough audience to even
No.
answer these questions.
No, they're all.
If anyone knows someone who's a Zoomer, do they type boobless into the fucking calculator?
Does boobless make
Because if they
any
don't,
sense?
they're missing out. What are they doing? Using Instagram, fucking using Snapchat,
They're all trying to desperately become an influencer, because if they don't, they're doomed to a life of misery and climate change.
We were constantly told, like all the time, that
you've
just got not to follow your dreams. Like the reality of it was just beaten down into you. Can't play games. That's not going to make a living. It's a waste of time. And now it's like, come on, Timmy, you've got the high score. Keep fucking going. You're my cash cow.
Yeah.
I think we're in that weird generation where it's like the boomers are passing on the messaging that they were told of you just have to go out and carve your own path. You can do anything you want, but you can't really. Like the reality is you actually can't. So we were kind of we were giving a false hope that we could do anything, and then we got hit by reality quite hard outside of school.
Yeah, but then we didn't.
That's what I feel like.
Oh, we didn't.
But then we didn't.
We didn't. We started playing games and never stopped.
Yeah, so fuck that. You got it right.
But then there was a lot of judgment on that. Like my dad wasn't on board with that. He was just famous to get an actual job.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. No, no, I won't. I'm going to somehow try and do this until I'm dead. Okay, so wish me luck, Dad. You bastard. I'm going to try. I'm
Look at me now, Dad.
Gonna make it work.
Look at me now. I'm trying. I'm
Onlyfans.
playing games. Yeah. I'm degrading myself online every day.
Yeah. But
I think that it was definitely very much just like that was not these are not career opportunities. But now, obviously, social media in general is a job for people.
And it's gone too far the other way. It's gone too far the other way. They all want to be bloody influencers, and they've got nothing interesting to say.
But that's it. But it doesn't matter what you're saying now. Like, it is. I guess maybe it's going to become it filters down, isn't it? You know, you can't all be PewDiePie. You can't all just be at the top. So it's this filtration system of the loudest, kind of more obnoxious person gets to the top. And you've got people now on streams who are fucking just having fights out in the streets within real life streamers and shit on Kick and fucking Rumble, and
it's impossible to tell.
TikTok all fighting each other. It's just like, it's so weird. The current generation of streamers is very strange, and they're just wandering around like LA and stuff and just getting into fights in like fucking Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. It's just like, what is happening?
I'd want to fight someone if I do.
But that's like, but then like they're getting paid handsomely for it. So it's like, why wouldn't you go? Well, I could just fucking
I
go into McDonald's and be a dickhead and get paid.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe that is the the job to have as all this.
So shout out to our Patreon subscribers, our members and things like that for supporting this podcast, because we don't have to go out and be dickheads out there. No. We can be dickheads in here.
We've been probably dickheads at some point. Like, remember that time we dressed up as all the characters from The Witcher in that press thing? That's kind of
but that was just journalists.
I don't think it's as bad, because sure, we weren't like in their face, but like that's probably our most equivalent of like being publicly
stupid,
cunty
in a room full of people who didn't want to be stupid.
Just like, but then obviously we also assumed that there were other people that were doing what we I think we were like one of the only YouTubers really there.
And we were definitely the only people in fancy dress.
Also, well, you were in a massive
I was in a dress with a wig and everything.
And I had a pauper's fucking
and I looked beautiful.
Hair on.
Yeah, you look like a Smithy's peasant.
Peasant boy. And then Trott was like probably on brand fully, because he was The Witcher. So,
and, I look like a melted Witcher.
They were all lamenting the ends of their careers.
This is the thing. This was at peak journalists hating these up-and-comer YouTubers with no credentials coming and taking all their integrity and their views and stuff. So we really rubbed it in their faces when we turned up, as if we didn't give a shit.
True. Well, I don't know. If anything, we did give a shit. We costumed up.
But at their expense.
But the issue in relaying this back to school and whatever is that think of the biggest, cuntiest dickhead who always made fucking a fuss
across the table,
or like, got kicked out of class all the time for being a fucking loud cunt.
Yeah,
those are the guys at the top of the fucking TikTok influencer thing.
Now
they're now reaping the rewards of their tomfoolery at school.
Yeah,
and they're just gonna be millionaires as teenagers.
Well, which is worse, them or an oil executive?
Wow, we don't hear about those, do we?
Yeah, we don't hear about those.
They aren't in your face.
No.
They're in the shadows.
That's silent.
They're in the shadows with all the silent generation and the Gen Xers planning the invasion.
The puppeteers.
Yeah. There's tunnels all under the world for it to be continents. There's tunnels connecting all the continents, and they use it to abduct people and create, project power and culture through a web of democratic pizza paedophile rings.
It's weird because it sounds like fear mongering, or like kind of like, again, millennials kind of judging something that we don't.
We all
really
judge,
but like something
older generations judging younger generations. The tale as old as time. But we just got to hope that the younger generation doesn't destroy the world.
Well, yeah, but there'll be people at school now looking at fucking OnlyFans, going, "I can't wait till I start my fucking OnlyFans account," because that's a valid way. You've got these people on top making millions.
There's lots of ways.
You'd have everyone in a hijab, would you? You get all covered up, like Blade Jedi.
But yeah, but
I wonder what your point
even
was.
Being an influencer or like all this other stuff, it's just strive to be the. I know,
I'm doing extremes because it's funny.
To strive to be those things is strange to me because we didn't obviously, Yeah, I mean, we didn't really know our job was a job until we turned monetization on a year later.
Let kids be kids. I think that is true. I think letting kids be kids is very, very important. Personally, I think that's something I agree with because I do worry. I mean, the thing is like culture. I've said this a million times before, don't want to keep saying the same things on podcasts, but like the whole example of like Alfred Hitchcock films were 18s back in the day, and nowadays you look at horror from years and years ago and you almost laugh because it isn't scary. It's not psychologically scary to you anymore.
Yeah.
So TV ratings, they tend to downgrade the ratings of films as time progresses because it's not relevantly scary or weird to that audience. I think that's a really good example of how opinions, aka culture, the status quo, the mindset of a mass of a population changes throughout time and mellows. I do think that in some ways, OnlyFans and people being comfortable with using it and posting on it and interacting, whether you're a creator or a consumer, like that is a hallmark of the changing attitudes and liberalization of those attitudes towards sex in most of our cultures, right? In Western cultures, at least. Obviously, there are some countries where, you would not do that. You would not show your ankles. You would not show your wrists. But that's because the status quo or the prevailing opinion, or at least the one that's mandated by the current elected government, is don't show too much skin.
But it's not necessarily just about showing. It's more of a case of like it's this illusion that you're going to hit the big time
by doing it.
Yeah, because it's so easily accessible because we can all get our phones out and just do anything on any social media.
Yeah.
Like so there's this kind of like illusion of, well, this person's just the average Joe. Yeah. They're just a normal person.
But you're missing
doing that. So like what?
But there's the whole point here though is I'm not missing what you're saying. The thing is, you're saying essentially what you're saying is people take a punt or a risk, or they expose themselves. They expose themselves both physically and metaphorically. And is that a risk that they don't realize they're taking because they could get their kit off and it not be worth it?
Yeah, maybe.
But what you're saying is essentially there's a big risk and you could get rewarded, so the risk is worth it. What I'm saying is the perception of that risk at all is lessened, so it's not seen as a risk. It's seen as a job or I'm going to show you my body for some money, and that's just all it is. What I think is the main argument here and the main resistance to this, and I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, it's about the opinion of whether or not people should have access to images of a person without their kit off, whether or not it's safe for a person to even think that it's okay to do that, as in like what effect does that have on the culture, our perceptions of sexuality, of the human body. Personally, I think in general it is a good thing to desexualize to an extent, like showing nude bodies or natural bodies or even unnatural bodies. Like I don't think there's necessarily anything negative about that. Where there is, I think, more complicated conversations to be had, and the dangers and risks is the idea of power, the idea of objectification, and where people think, what people think the rules are. Like if you walk into a room full of intelligent, informed, consenting people,
they're all naked.
But they're all naked. But you can have that kind of highbrow conversation or that highbrow interaction, right? It's like going to a nature beach, when you're all naked on a beach. Everyone's like, look, we're all naked. We've all seen tits and dicks before. Like we can enjoy being on a beach in the hot weather in a nice pool without wearing clothes. Sure, there shouldn't be anything inherently wrong with that.
Desensitization, right?
Yeah, but not even desensitization. It's about establishing an objective, intelligent, informed situation. The problem comes when you get some guy coming on the beach that's there simply because he wants to look at tits or dicks.
Starts wanking in the public.
Starts wanking away, exactly, because he's not part of that informed.
And I apologise.
Informed environment, and that's the problem being online, is that you cross boundaries, you cross cultural boundaries.
Which the new cultural norm is to wank in public, and everyone's on the beach wanking in public.
Yeah.
And
when
then
does that
some
happen?
guy that's
when will I get let off the hook for that?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's not hard over there.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong.
Smith.
No soft willies.
Like, it's really complicated, and the accessible, the accessibility of this technology. I think the problem is we can't educate people fast enough. You know, you can't enlighten people fast enough.
I'm guessing there's the same for our generation. Like, we had Nuts magazine or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the girls in the front of that are just, this is Tracy from fucking Surrey or something. And it's like, I imagine that's equally influenced. I mean, it's just obviously something like Instagram and OnlyFans, whatever, and Twitter are so much bigger.
Yeah.
That like it's just everywhere. Exactly. So it's just like the more likelihood of you going, fuck, I'll be that. When we started fucking YouTube, we didn't know you could make money from it.
Yeah.
So we did it as a thing that it was just fun to do. But now everyone's looking at these different things, and like now it's a career, or like
when it loses its value is when it loses traction, right?
Yeah.
So it's a case of, like Smith was saying, with OnlyFans, for example, if everyone started doing it, we also have to be careful of the idea that everything progresses. Like, if we follow this normal trajectory and everyone starts doing OnlyFans and then blah, 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 that's not how it always works. There's sometimes regressions.
That's very true. Yeah.
There's also like...
progress for progress' sake isn't always the right thing to do.
And there's like a knockback effect culturally. Like, for example, we're starting to lock down on fact-checking and stuff that I'd never thought we'd see coming.
Yeah.
Like anti-fact shit coming out. What the hell? People are rejecting science and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if we were following our normal trajectory from school of like scientists in the future and blah blah blah, I would never have predicted that we'd have this massive backlash of people.
The willful desire for ignorance, or to exist in a state of ignorance. Yeah.
So like predicting like, if everyone has access to OnlyFans now, how is society going to shape itself? I think we always assume we're following a linear trajectory of this is how it'll respond. It'll just escalate and escalate and escalate to this point. But
if I had OnlyFans, would you admit if you subscribed to it to me?
I would have a look.
So you would subscribe first?
Just because I'd be like, what the fuck is he doing? You know, like...
But like in the same context of like, if you went to uni or something with someone, and obviously, you know, they've got... So that girl over there's got OnlyFans. It's like, would you... If you subscribed to it, would you tell them?
Have you had a good answer from that question? Because I think it's an interesting question.
Would you tell them that you subscribed to it? Because like they've obviously put it on there. But like,
and also
on a personal level,
and would they want to know?
Would they want to know that you had it?
Yeah.
But then is it creepy because you like? But it's on a platform that they've invited people to.
Don't they know? Unless you
unless your username is like something completely different. But like
anonymity is a big part of it as well. Like, you know, like users, like advertising to users that you can be anonymous.
Isn't that a state of the times
element of it?
Like, the whole point of like OnlyFans is to like, I'm not saying the only point. But I think the allure is I gain access to something that I'm otherwise not allowed to gain access to, and it's behind this secret.
Of course,
secret
it's
curtain,
exciting,
and that is the value there.
If one of your girlfriends had it and I subscribe to that, would you consider that a crossing of the line?
Yeah. This is the thing. That's a really good question.
Great uploads last night, man. Did you see him?
Yeah, I know.
I
know, right? That's a good question.
Ultimately, that's
I just want to know if I'm the pervert. Am I the pervert for subscribing to your girlfriend?
I think that's more of that person should have had a conversation with their partner about all the potential complications before they involve themselves in that platform.
Yeah,
but I guess it is,
and so they would have been okay with it beforehand, knowing that this could have potentially happened.
I'm just wondering how casual you can get to a point where you're like, "Fucking love that upload last night, amazing stuff." That was big. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you start complimenting or like commenting,
that was big.
Like, where's the line? Or do you have or do we have to be stum about that? It's like, that's taboo.
I think that's our culture,
is it though?
as it is right now.
Is it?
Is our culture, and that is only starting to get used to the concept of everyone doing OnlyFans or whatever. We're prudish in comparison to potentially the younger generation that is growing up with it. Yeah. So we're like, this is rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know how to react to it because I've never had to face this communication with this person before. Of course, it's rubbing us like in an awkward way.
And equally, those
rubbing is probably not a good term with OnlyFans.
So I agree, and I think like when it comes to like the girlfriend or friend of
because it's everywhere now. Like, so it's, loads of people have it, right?
But that takes an incredibly a lot of, I think, emotional intelligence and a lot of processing and conversations and stuff for those people to do that, and that hopefully they've had those conversations and they are cool with it, and that's totally fine, because like I say, it's you don't need to project your own insecurities and icks onto another person's situation, but
of course not.
Like
but like if I didn't say anything in real life, but then I was like, I tweeted it saying banging OnlyFans.
I know.
But like, as in, like, just like, because it's normal.
Yeah.
But then who is the pervert? Am I still the pervert?
Because you're worried.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of normalizing these things.
Yeah.
At what point of normality is it to then just comment on your friends or friends' girlfriends and OnlyFans publicly and just be like, wow, I'm just fucking supporting it.
It becomes even more confusing because, as Trott says, part of the appeal is like the behind the curtain, like feel to that.
I get to see your girlfriend naked.
Like. And
I'm gonna like that post.
Nice job, bro. Good luck, bro. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I would pay for that.
Like, so it is a head fuck, and it is very hard to navigate. And we don't have the answers, but I do think it's interesting if you keep asking people that question, because I'd love those answers. Like, as in, because the other thing here is, you aren't necessarily the most up-to-date take on these things, and you want to learn. Like, you want to like see how other people have done it.
Involving ourselves in this, then, is what you're saying.
We need to start it to be part of the movement.
Well, because we
need to start fucking each other.
I mean, obviously, we were mainly talking about the broader effects of influencers in general as well. Yeah, like, it's the whole sphere of social media, really. But like, I mean, with something like OnlyFans, obviously, it's quite a personal thing to do, isn't it? But they don't just show you the goods. They also talk to these people. That's another thing where
for me is even harder to understand.
Yeah,
I'm just like, dude. I also find that personally my most.
So I said I had a good chat with your girlfriend last night.
Yeah.
Is on not actually on OnlyFans.
The thing is, like,
but like, as a hypothetical, I was like, good chat last night, man. That's it. That's where I leave it. I said,
look, you're doing this.
We had a good fucking chat, bro.
Because like in this particular
circumstance, I paid. I'm a paying customer, man.
Yes.
Don't take it weird. Don't be weird about it.
I'm not being
You
weird.
shouldn't be weird about it.
I personally, as an aside from this particular scenario where you are casually talking to somebody that you have direct access to, obviously you've got to remember a lot of the time creators are an entertainer for people they'll never meet, which I think is certainly part of it. But I understand that's what you're playing with. That's what you're playing with.
That's where the line is.
But the format is so big now that there are going to be people who just someone in their friend group probably does it.
Yeah,
because it isn't a big deal, really. Like, but it's just like
also
the social element of breaching those topics. Do you just go, ooh, or do you whisper behind their back? Because I think it's worse to whisper behind someone's back and be like, oh, they've got OnlyFans. Oh, have they really? Okay, shit. Okay. Whereas like if you talk about it, this is not. But then it is crossing probably a line to say, make personal comments on it, or like say, I really fucking love chatting to your girlfriend.
The monthly personal one-to-ones.
Yeah.
There's a difference between posting pictures of yourself naked on the internet in a controlled way and maintaining conversations and a sort of pseudo relationship with strangers on the internet. In my opinion, again, maybe this is what people want to hear. I'm hoping so, because it's sort of, I guess, not entirely. I think it's really, really difficult to navigate these weird power relationships that evolve from people maintaining conversations with people that subscribe to them because they find them attractive. I don't personally know, and I'd love to be enlightened, and I'm not saying anything's wrong or right, but I think there is a big difference.
We need a guest on.
There's a big difference between posting pictures of yourself naked for money and chatting to people.
Yeah.
I think that for me is the one.
So, but like, I guess it depends on.
Depends how you value those things.
It is, and how you navigate it. And I don't know how people navigate it because I've never witnessed it myself. But the idea of that, to me, would be the quickest way to turn somebody into a nutcase.
Parasocial.
Yes, it literally is monetizing a parasocial relationship. That's literally what it is.
It's a conversation and what boundaries you're setting.
There are avenues for all that stuff anyway.
And I'm sure some people have established really safe ways of doing it, I hope. Because for me, knowing the kind of crazies that there are on the internet, and we've bumped into a few of them in our long time doing this, especially if you're a woman. Obviously there are multiple kinds of creators, but I think ultimately is an established, pretty fucking horrific power balance of hot women online being,
ogled.
Yeah, and also just weirdos coming and giving those hot women a nightmare of a time. if you then
I think they're
provide
in
it as
a powerful
service,
situation though, as well in that sense.
They are.
They have the control.
Yeah,
But so I would say you have to probably be quite hardy. About those things. Yeah,
it's really hard, really complicated, and there's not training out there to help you deal with these things a lot of the time. There's not like some school of OnlyFans to go to where you learn the best practices.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Maybe someone could set up a school of
OnlyFans.
If you're like, OnlyFans isn't popping off,
I think
it's start a school, get it going.
You'd argue it's up to the platform to educate and
they're not, and they're fucking not.
They want to make money.
We've worked with these platforms for years. They don't fucking do anything.
They should highlight the risks and shit, and or have a safety measures like Uber does.
Social media is the new Wild West. In terms of there is just they are starting to crack down on stuff now, but there's no advice to.
I think it's a very interesting topic of conversation that we only have with each other who don't use this shit at all.
No. This is it. I don't actually know the full ins and outs of it, but
I think we should. I think we should have the opposite end. Discuss the point of view.
Someone has said that they think that subbing to your mate's girlfriend's OnlyFans is off limits, and I think that probably is true. I mean, it would. You wouldn't really.
It's what would you consider? That would
cheating? Honestly, to be fair, any of your friends, you probably wouldn't, just because it's that's not my business.
It's like flirting too much with someone, right? That is off limits. There's boundaries that are set in normal social environments that are mimicked in these OnlyFans scenarios that you should know is stepping over the line.
Because you don't want to have to cause your friend or your friend's partner to talk to you and say that's overstepping, right? As in there is an expected amount of social interaction with a person. What
if you find out later that I have been talking to the girl on OnlyFans intensively, but with a different username, and then eventually it all comes out over a dinner?
Over a dinner,
an explosive dinner.
Well, you made this awkward because
I've then said, "I'm username this, and this." Oh shit! And then
is this before you pay the bill or not?
Oh, no. I'm out. Mate, I'm dying and dashing. I'm dropping a bomb and leaving.
Personally, from
it's a bomb.
And it's wait, I think that's that username. You asked all those weird fucking kinky things.
Yeah. You know what you're saying. Yeah. I think
to make...
He's antagonizing.
To make everything... But as an actual response to a question...
trying to be a dickhead.
To actually have an even keel approach to this, I don't think there's any problem with that, personally. Right. If a person is providing an OnlyFans service and a person wants to subscribe to it, right now, there's nothing wrong with that, and it does. There shouldn't be context. If it was me and
we
you,
ain't having dinner again.
It would just be strange. It would just be like me and you. Just why have you been?
Why are you doing that?
It's an chaos, case by case, right?
Boom, I'm off. I guess. Mic drop. I'm gone.
But ultimately, it's like if you had a Pornhub premium subscription, I'm not going to judge that. Wow, you really like porn. Wow, really, the free videos weren't enough.
Avoiding the ads, bro.
But it's all old and young. It's all old and young.
I don't think it's right to judge that.
Really old.
But is it legal?
Yeah. They're almost
dead.
Is
it consenting?
Most of them. One guy was
so
almost
old.
dead. Though,
there should be an age. There's an age limit of 16 in our country. I think there should be an upper limit age limit too. It's just you should just fucking stop.
95. Yeah. Give it up, bro. Using splints to keep that thing up.
But I think that's the thing. We need to make sure that old people have access to sexual aids. I think.
What?
Sorry,
sexual aids.
Done that, and it went really bad.
What?
Yeah. I mean Viagra, not like AIDS.
Right. It's just
What do you think?
It's just saying sexual AIDS.
Yeah. Like AIDS, like Viagra, like sticks to hold things up, small scaffolding,
small scaffolding system.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Huh?
Well, mini fucking lollipop sticks, just to keep him. Hang on, love, let me get some tape.
It's like an arts and craft project.
Let's try and make him in. God, Christ, I'm 95.
Well, where's the pipe cleaners?
I've had to makeshift this, so I got a Lego lightsaber.
Yeah, the Lego lightsaber. It's a papier-mâché. We're gonna make the Thunderbirds Island, and my rocket.
Underneath all that shit, my tiny little penis is under there somewhere.
Unerect penis.
You won't even know. I won't even know. Christ, why are we here?
There's a chance we may not be educated on this.
It's more than a chance. I'd say it's a likelihood.
I was trying to make light of, subscribing to one of your girlfriends if they had an OnlyFans, and then making it awkward by mentioning it in public, which would be
weird.
At a dinner, of course.
Nice
dropping
dinner.
That bomb, mic drop, then leaving, and for what?
And fighting.
This is just like some sort of episode of Always Sunny.
It is. You dump your guts and leave.
But it was more about normalizing it. And how normal?
How normal can you make something before it's not hot anymore?
Well, that's why you get to extremes. You've seen that horse video. So I haven't seen the horse video.
But
apparently there's a horse video going around on Twitter where some guy's getting fucked by a horse.
Yeah.
And it's what year is it? We've all seen that fucking video.
Yeah.
That video went round in Bluetooth in 2004.
Could be a different thing though.
Hey, it probably
could
is.
be a different
probably high def.
Different
They've
horse?
upgraded.
It's a different horse.
It's a different horse and it's 4K. Fuck. Shit. Love 2023.
Well, what if the original was shot on film?
Just action film compared to digital.
Wow. That's the thing. That's why it's still as high fidelity now as it was when it was filmed.
Yeah,
it was shot on high quality film. David Cameron. David Cameron. Okay, I always say
Attenborough?
that. No, the guy that loves fucking IMAX.
David.
Not David.
David.
No, his last name's Cameron.
James.
Who is it?
James Cameron.
Wait, no, that was
shot the horse.
Nolan loves fucking.
He does
director,
know. He
right?
shot it on 45mm film, and we can blow it up for 2023, no problem. Look at that.
There isn't a 45.
No, 70 mils, 35,
Yeah.
70.
No, this is for horse. This was a new kind of
a new format. They went
Purely for
mid-range,
horse.
45 mil, medium
4:3.
format film.
Oh god.
Kind of a medium format.
4:3.
Horse
Yeah,
format.
that's really nice, mate. Yeah,
It's gonna look great on Bluetooth on a fucking
It
Nokia
perfectly
N95.
frames the horse.
Don't worry about it, mate. When we scale this down to 144p Bluetooth file,
Still look alright, ish.
But I do think that's quite weird that, like, because fucking Elon Musk's Twitter is now like this kind of fucking messy, uncensored land of gory videos,
misinformation,
horse fucking. It's like, what does he want that platform to be? I know you're a Threads user now.
I'm threading.
Converting. That's fair
threading.
enough. But it's just, I don't understand what he was just like. Yeah, anyone can do whatever they want now. It's like, okay, sure, but like, I don't want to see a horse fucking getting fucked. I think that's a crime. I think that's illegal.
Well, you've seen that.
What?
I haven't seen the video. I've seen people talking about it
Right.
but obviously I've seen the video that back in the day, the Bluetooth one. Gross. I think they died. That person died.
It was one of those Bluetooth pass.
Imagine what they made on OnlyFans though.
Well, yeah.
I feel bad for these people that were just Bluetooth.
But that
links.
is a crime. I think even OnlyFans surely has a
animal
line.
abuse.
It is
Probably.
animal abuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a crime.
Any situation where a human.
Well, even if the animal's the one getting off. Anyway,
Thanks for listening.
covered a lot of ground today. I hope you've enjoyed.
Ross has questions.
There are loads of questions about lots of different things.
Fuck's sakes. I hope
We've had a little kind
enjoyed
of
this.
angry shaking fist at the cloud, but the cloud is social media again, which it's an easy target.
It's a big fucking
Just
cloud.
on it. It's a big fucking cloud. We're all on
cloud.
it. You're using it now. Watching us is a form of social media.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're on it.
Well,
we're on it.
If you're listening to this podcast and you want to come on we know you as an OnlyFans user, as a creator, then
Get on cam, mate.
oh,
You're
fuck.
not even visible. Look at you.
I forgot about that.
Silly bastard.
Reach out to us. We'd love to have the opposing opinion. Well, not opposing, just what it's like.
Other opinions.
The other side.
Opinions are a spectrum.
And if your
Yeah.
girlfriend has an
Not all
OnlyFans,
team.
I'm subscribed to it. And I'm going to talk to her about it. I'm going to talk to you about it in front of her. And I'll just be like, high five you both.
Yeah. Cheers for the huge nut.
And then
last night.
unsub.
Cheers for the best
The
orgasm.
biggest insult afterwards is
Power move.
unsub in front. Sorry, bro.
You
got
sign
one.
up. You sign up in front
I'm
of them,
done.
and then just
Yeah, yeah.
immediately start screenshotting.
Yeah. Screenshot all. I'm
Got
done,
what I
bro.
wanted.
Cheers.
Bye.
I'm done.
Done.
Phone down.
Let me know if you
Mic drop.
If you go to the next level, then I might resub.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go more and more extreme for me to stay interested. Just so you know.
Yeah. I need extremes. You got any horses? Film near some stables soon.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. I don't know how to round this off.
No, but we've got a long finger.
Yeah, we got a really long thing from Josh Morley Smith.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Joshua, sorry. Thank you to all our supporters out there. I'm talking Patreons, YouTube members, and Twitch subscribers. You're all valued people to us, and you can all congregate on our Discord, discord.gg/hatfilms. And if you link those different platforms to your Discord account, you gain access to our subscriber-only channel where we do like private live streams like we did earlier today, where we discuss like our content in the future and get you guys to help shape it. And we do extended versions of gaming series and sometimes members-only videos as well. So thank you very much. And we'll see you in the next Hat Chat.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Fucking hell.